It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. Today we've got a beer from Fonteinen Brewery in Belgium. And it was sent by the wonderful Roy in the Netherlands. Thank you very much, Roy, for this beer. I've had a fascination for this brewery for a long, long time. I've not reviewed many beers from this brewery. I would like to review more. There's a look at the beer. It's an Old Cuve Armand Gaston. I'm not going to pretend I know what that is. Cuve is like grand, I know that. But I don't understand the Armand and Gaston bit. Cuve is like top drawer quality. It's like a standard for sour beer. It's a 375 milliliter bottle, 6.5% ABV. There's the bottle cap. I am super excited to show you this beer today. I'm going to get this beer out. Thank you very much, Roy, for this. I'll tell you why I've got a fascination for this brewery in a moment. First of all, I want to get it out. Whoa. Here we go. Cork's coming out. Boom! Lovely, lovely smoke on the bottle opening. Look at the little bit of liquid there on the bottom of the cork. The cork is an 1819. Maybe that's the size of the cork. Maybe the brewery started in 1819. I don't know. Let's get the beer out into a glass and see what we get. I haven't cooled this beer. I'm out in my conservatory. It's March in the UK, so it's not particularly warm, but it's the perfect temperature to store your beer. This time of year, I can quite confidently leave cans of IPA on my bar and the temperature stays at around, I'd say about 8 to 9 degrees maximum in here. Big thick stone walls. It's like a cellar. It's like a cellar bar, this place. The window, I'll show you the window. I'll show you how far underground we are here. There's the window, right up there, look. Can you see? That little slanty window, that's where we get all our light from. And, of course, the glass roof. But all of that garden wall there, and right the way down where we are here, all stays at a lovely temperature. The sun never really hits this conservatory. As much as I would love it to in the summer, it doesn't really hit this part of the conservatory, this part of the house, and it's always nice and cool here, so it's perfect for storing beer. Anyway, on we go. Look at this beer. Look at this wonderful looking beer. One finger white head. Fantastic carbonation. A golden amber hazy coloured beer. Let's get the aroma. Oh, I love it. Absolutely love it. Oh, the aroma is just so funky. Horse blanket funky. I reckon if you gave this beer to the average man in the street who was just a regular lager drinker, you put this to their nose and they go, ooh, like, is this some kind of balsamic vinegar that I'm smelling? There's very tiny hints of balsamic vinegar in here. As the Italians would say, balsamico. Oh, wonderful. This is going to be one sour beer. Let's dive into it. Cheers, everybody. Oh! Oh, 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 oh. Boom! Stone the Crows. Stone the Crows. That is terrific. Absolutely terrific, terrific, terrific liquid. Oh, I get super excited because this is the type of beer that makes your eyeballs itch. It does. It makes my eyeballs itch. It's so sour. It's so warm, kind of like in your face sourness. But as that sourness dies down, you're left with this wonderful, wonderful kind of light biscuit malt flavour. And that's, on a personal level for me, that's my biggest lover of these sour beers, is the fact that when you taste it, all that sourness hits your brain like a massive rush. It's like, whoa! But then it quickly disappears and you're left with this lovely crescendo of light, crisp, kind of wafer, biscuity like malts. It's just a superb style of beer. One of my favourite styles of beer ever. Ever. Oh, so sour, so sour, but so amazing, so terrific at the same time. Big hiss and fizz of carbonation that pushes the beer on the inside of the mouth, releasing more of the flavour. It does have a certain slight kind of vinaigrette, kind of balsamic vinegar flavour to it. That is only natural. I was in Belgium, so my whole story of Belgium now will start. But I just want to finish off with the flavours first. It's so refreshing. It's such a refreshing, light, crisp beer. The other thing, if you wanted to put this beer in the fridge, you could, because the flavours are not overly influenced by malt and hops. It's influenced by the kind of sourness in the beer. So you can chill it down. It'll still be really, really sour. Ah, just amazing. Just amazing. Just absolutely fantastic. It's such a fine balance. It's such a fine balance of, like, I've been really disappointed in the past because I've opened a bottle of this type of beer, cork and cage, drummed it up with my father, and opened the cage, opened the cork, tried to explain to him what he was about to drink. Like, this is like no other beer that you're ever going to try in your life. And he just pulled his face. He just went, oh, and he hated it. Absolutely hated it. Absolutely hated it. And I was really disappointed. Like, he wouldn't put it back to his mouth. He just put it down. And he went, I'm not drinking that ever again. I get it. Of course I do. I get it. I understand it. It's not for everybody. But I was disappointed that he didn't kind of... I think you've got to... For me, I'm a great believer in pursuing a flavour. Pursuing to like something. Like, I'll stand here right now and still say that I hate mushrooms. I can't stand the feel, the texture, the flavour. I hate mushrooms. But I'm trying. I'm dicing them up really small. I'm trying to eat these damn things. And I'm trying to get myself into a position where I love mushrooms. But I think, because I'm a great believer in, if you eat and drink something enough, then you learn to understand it and love it. There will be a time in my life where I understand and start to love mushrooms. It's taken me 40 blooming years, 43 years. But I'm pretty sure I can get there. I just got to try a little bit more. It's a little bit like olives. A little bit like olives, where when I first started to eat olives, I hated the damn things. Absolutely hated the damn things. Now I'm at the point where I can start to like olives. I appreciate the meatiness of an olive. I appreciate the texture. I appreciate the oil. I appreciate everything about an olive. Especially when you put a bit of feta cheese and chili in an olive. I'm starting to get it and understand it. It's very much like this beer. The reason why I'm mentioning all of this is because it's very much like this. Don't just take one sip of a beer like this and go, whoa, this is not for me. This is not for me. Learn to like it. Learn to like it. Keep it in the glass. Come back to it. Have a little sip. Accept the fact that there are aspects of balsamic vinegar here. There are. I'm going to go to my Belgium story, because I feel like this needs clearing up. So I went to Belgium. It was by the Belgian family brewers. We went to Belgium and we went to this kind of like beer seminar, touring breweries and like an events place. It was like a big seminar, and somebody got on stage and he had all these different graphs and diagrams and drawings about sour beer. And I sat there in the morning, slightly hungover, in my chair, like this, sat there, looking at this projector screen, watching, and then all of a sudden it piqued my interest, because what happens with sour beer is that if you leave a barrel of sour beer fresh in a barrel, if you barrel a beer, a fresh beer, and then it turns sour, it will climb and climb and climb on the graph, and it'll climb past the human being's comfort zone of being able to drink a sour beer. But then what happens if you leave it for another 2 years, it peaks and then it starts to come down again. That sourness starts to come down and down and down, and then there's a line. So it goes past the line, then it comes back down again, and then it comes to a point where the human being can tolerate drinking sour beer, and it becomes drinkable. So back in the day, what would have happened is that a brewer would have brewed a load of beer, put it in wooden barrels, and then they would have forgotten a barrel. They would have forgotten a barrel, or maybe let's say 2 barrels for argument's sake. They forgot about 2 barrels in their brewery. So the story goes is that they found 1 barrel after 6 months, and they opened that barrel and they drank it, and they were like, oh, this is off, this is terrible, throw it out, bin it, get rid of it. And then the other barrel, same batch, but for argument's sake, other end of the brewery, stuffed behind a couple of wardrobes, that sort of thing. They come across this beer in 2.5 years' time, not 6 months. And the sourness, of course, was coming back down by then, and it hit that point where it was drinkable. So again, somebody come across this barrel, maybe 2.5 years. What's this? Tap it, pour it. Might have got something like this. Might have. I don't know. It was like 300, 400 years ago. And they went, ooh, what do we have here? Of course, every good brewery has batch numbers, even hundreds of years ago. Brewery logs, that's why brewers logs exist. And they were able to match up these 2 barrels, 1 barrel being 6 months old, 1 barrel being 2.5 years old, and they were able to work out that they wouldn't have had graphs and stuff back then. It would have been purely on taste. But they worked out that what goes really sour comes back down again. And that's where the Belgians really stuck with barrel aging sours like this. This is why the Belgians are so good at it. And this is why the Belgians kind of specialise in in these very beers. So on this very Belgium trip, the next day, we were all told, well, we're going to different breweries. 4 minibuses were outside the hotel, and my name was called out, and I was excited because there was a busload of 3 Fonteinen, a busload of people going to 3 Fonteinen, and I was like, yeah, I want to be on that bus. I want to be on that bus. I want to go to 3 Fonteinen. And I wasn't on that bus because I didn't look at the itinerary, and because I just used to turn up to these places. I just used to go to Belgium. I never used to kind of look at the emails, and I'm like that. If I looked at the blooming email, I could have put myself down for the 3 Fonteinen bus, but I didn't. I didn't do anything. So I ended up on the Stella Artois bus. So while there were a busload of people going to 3 Fonteinen, I was the man on the bus with a few sad faces. We all went to Stella Artois. But actually, I had a fabulous time at Stella Artois. I had a fabulous, fabulous time. I went in there really negative, really like, haha, I'm at Stella. I'm going to tear this place to bits. And I come out there, I met some lovely people, drank some beer on the Stella roof. And yeah, really enjoyed it, really enjoyed it. So that's my story with 3 Fonteinen. If I looked at my email, I could have gone there and loved their beer. But Roy, thank you very much for sending this beer. Fabulous, absolutely fabulous, 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 fabulous. I like that enough to give it a Stone the Crows 9 out of 10. So 9 out of 10 from Real Ale Craft Beer. Please put your comments in the comments box. Subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews. Give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom. Cheers.